Welcome to the main event. This is True Ring News Network, your ringside access to WWE news and drama. Subscribe and let's rumble. Sometimes, the most important moments in professional wrestling are not defined by noise, chaos, or spectacle, but by stillness. On this episode of AEW Dynamite, a quiet backstage segment shifted the weight of the Continental Classic in a meaningful way. Away from the ring, away from the crowd, JetSpeed stood united, with a clarity that demanded attention. There were no bold claims or dramatic gestures, only purpose. Their message was simple, but powerful. The Continental Classic is not a side quest, it is the mission. Every match matters, every point counts. In a tournament where momentum can vanish instantly, JetSpeed showed they understand the stakes better than most. This was not a promo meant to excite, it was a statement meant to warn. A shift away from chaos, AEW Dynamite, is often defined by fast pacing, explosive entrances, and unpredictable moments. That is exactly why this backstage segment stood out. There was no arena noise, no interruption, no rush to get to the next match. The camera simply found JetSpeed standing together, composed and focused. This deliberate slowdown created contrast and forced the audience to listen. In a show built on energy, silence became a storytelling weapon. AEW trusted the performers to hold attention without spectacle, and JetSpeed delivered by letting their seriousness speak louder than any catchphrase could. The Continental Classic takes center stage. From the opening sentence, JetSpeed made it clear that nothing mattered more than the Continental Classic. Not rankings, not future title shots, not online buzz. This was a clear declaration of priorities. In a company where wrestlers often balance multiple storylines, this laser focus gave the tournament real gravity. JetSpeed framed the Classic as a grind, not an opportunity for highlight reels. Their words reinforced that this is not about style points, but survival. AEW subtly reminded viewers that the Classic is a test of consistency, not popularity. No trash talk, just reality. What made this segment effective was what it avoided. There were no insults aimed at opponents, no guarantees of victory, no exaggerated bravado. Instead, JetSpeed spoke about preparation, adjustment, and consequences. That grounded tone made them feel dangerous in a realistic way. It suggested confidence without arrogance. In tournament wrestling, this approach feels authentic. Losses matter. Momentum shifts quickly. JetSpeed acknowledged that truth, which made them come across as veterans of the format rather than hopeful participants chasing a moment. Understanding the tournament psychology. The Continental Classic is built on points, not pinfall streaks or surprise wins. JetSpeed showed they understand this better than most. They spoke about how a single loss can change the entire landscape of the standings. That awareness added tension to their upcoming matches. Viewers were reminded that every bout carries long-term consequences. AEW used this promo to educate the audience without exposition. JetSpeed became the voice explaining why discipline and focus are more valuable than aggression in this environment. Collision becomes a battlefield. By emphasizing their upcoming matches on Collision, JetSpeed elevated that show without needing cross-promotion. Collision was no longer another night. It became a crucial chapter in the tournament story. This framing makes the upcoming card feel essential, viewing rather than optional. AEW successfully blurred the lines between weekly programming and tournament progression. JetSpeed's calm urgency transformed Collision into a pressure point where standings could change dramatically. A team thriving under pressure. Although the Continental Classic is an individual competition, JetSpeed presented themselves as a unit. Standing shoulder to shoulder, they reinforced the idea that support systems matter in long tournaments. Even when competing separately, they move with shared purpose. That unity adds depth to both competitors. They are not isolated stars, but professionals who prepare together and adapt together. AEW subtly used body language to reinforce this theme, proving that visual storytelling can be just as effective as dialogue. Confidence without noise. There is a difference between confidence and hype, and JetSpeed operated firmly in the first category. Their body language was relaxed but alert. Their words were measured. This type of confidence feels earned rather than manufactured. It suggests belief built on preparation, not ego. In a company full of charismatic talkers, this restrained approach made JetSpeed stand out. It positioned them as wrestlers who let results speak, which aligns perfectly with the tournament's unforgiving structure. AEW's strength in subtle storytelling. This segment highlighted one of AEW's strongest qualities: trusting small moments to carry big implications. Nothing dramatic happened, yet the stakes felt higher afterward. That is effective storytelling. The promo did not advance a rivalry or set up an angle. It deepened the tournament itself. AEW allowed the audience to feel the pressure rather than be told to care. This approach rewards attentive viewers and gives meaning to matches that might otherwise feel routine. Momentum as a fragile currency. JetSpeed repeatedly emphasized how quickly momentum can disappear in the Continental Classic. That idea reframes every upcoming match. Wins are temporary relief. Losses are lingering threats. This mindset creates emotional investment beyond individual performances. AEW used JetSpeed to articulate the emotional toll of tournament wrestling. The Classic is not just physically demanding, it is mentally exhausting. That layer of realism makes each result resonate longer than the bell. Why quiet moments matter most. JetSpeed exited the frame the same way they entered it, focused, composed, and undistracted. That symmetry reinforced their message. Nothing flashy was needed. The mission was clear. Moments like this prove that AEW Dynamite does not always need chaos to move stories forward. Sometimes, a few grounded words backstage can reshape how an entire tournament is viewed. As the Continental Classic continues, this segment may be remembered as the point where the pressure truly set in, and where JetSpeed quietly warned everyone they were not here to fade away. Conclusion: when focus redefines the fight. This backstage moment on AEW Dynamite served as a reminder that the Continental Classic is not driven by spectacle, but by discipline and consequence. JetSpeed did not try to steal the show or dominate headlines. Instead, they reframed the tournament itself. By stripping away noise and emotion, they highlighted what truly matters: preparation, consistency, and mental endurance. Their calm delivery made the stakes feel heavier, not lighter. Every upcoming match now carries added tension because the audience understands what is at risk. Wins are not celebrations, and losses are not setbacks. They are shifts in survival. This segment elevated the Continental Classic by grounding it in realism and pressure. JetSpeed positioned themselves as competitors who thrive when margins are thin and mistakes are costly. As the tournament continues, this quiet declaration may stand as the moment where intent became undeniable, and where focus emerged as the most dangerous weapon in AEW's landscape.